Hello again. Welcome back to another Fresh from the Theater review. Been doing quite a bit of these this year, and today I just got back from seeing The Naked Gun. The 2025 reboot version of The Naked Gun, which when I first heard about this, I'm like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even know this was a thing, and like a lot of people, I'm like, really? Another one? Like another reboot? But as one person on Twitter who I follow said, once I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, there seems to be a little potential, but as we all know, trailers can be very misleading. But I kept seeing more advertising, and it looked like it had some of the zaniness, some of the style of the original, so I'm like, okay, I'll give it a watch. And the star is Liam Neeson as the new Frank Drebin. And I'm sure the fact that his name sounds a little similar to Leslie Nielsen played a part in his casting. And now that I've seen it, I can say this was an amazing comedy. It felt exactly in spirit of the original. It kept up the zany tone. It had a lot of the same type of jokes that we came to love with the, like, if you enjoyed the Naked Gun movies that they had, where people say things dead serious and people take them at face value. And I love the original Naked Gun movies. They were like a non-stop rewatch of my high school years, and Leslie Nielsen, slapstick parody god. And Liam Neeson, everybody, I'm like, he's not the person I envisioned to take on the mantle of the Naked Gun franchise, but now I've seen this, he did an excellent job. He does exactly what Leslie Nielsen did so well. He plays it straight as fucking can be. And a big thing to note, and the trailers let us know this ahead of time, this is not a remake. It is a sequel, and although, as always, I'm a little iffy on legacy sequels, reboots that are technically sequels and they just use the same name. But this is a sequel. They established that his character, Frank Drebin, his full name is Frank Drebin Jr., and I guess he's the kid that Frank and Jane had at the end of the third film, which it makes me wonder how far in the timeline this takes place, because Liam Neeson, he's like fucking 73, and that movie came out like 30 years ago, but I'm not going to overthink it. He does it well. He plays a great, no nonsense, but completely inept, dumb fuck. And the plot of this movie is, it feels totally on par with, say, the first one, which had a villain using electric hypnotism to turn people into assassins. This one has a villain, a businessman who makes like self-driving cars and robots and shit. I'm not sure if it's a direct, it probably is, but it's hard to tell if it's a direct lampoon on Elon Musk, but they don't dwell on that aspect too much. And this villain, he has a device that's programmed to turn people into pretty much caveman savages where they'll want to kill each other. And he says this is his way of taking out the weak of the world. And the only person on the force who's come close to finding out what he's up to is Frank Drebin Jr., but even then he's not doing a very good job at it. And I can't list every fucking joke I heard, just like the original Naked Gun. They beat you over the head with a joke every minute, and not every one works, but for every joke that doesn't work, there's at least 15 that do. It's that well done and creative. Like, the humor is extremely well put together, and you can tell the people that made this had a huge love and respect for the original Naked Gun movies. They have a lot of respect for Jim Abrams, Jerry Zucker, David Zucker, and the people behind it I know were, the producer was Seth MacFarlane, and I know he's a huge fan of the ZAZ team, and the director was Akiva Schaffer, who I'm not entirely familiar with, but I know he made Hot Rod. He does a good job. Like, he also co-wrote the script, and the screenplay it's tight. Like, just like the original, this movie is only an hour and 25 minutes, and it goes at a fast pace. It doesn't drag. Like, there are some parts where they take breaks from the main story, but even those jokes, they feel like they fit well. Like, nothing feels as if it goes off plot. It doesn't feel like a waste of time, and there are so many good jokes here, and the main questions I had going in would be, is it funny? And yeah, this is fucking hilarious. Eddington was my surprise favorite so far this year, but this is also a pleasant surprise, and it'd be a little weird to say it's my favorite of the year, but this is definitely the most fun I've had in terms of comedy this year. And as I said, it keeps up the zany spirit of the original. It definitely has a little more of a modern feel, but I could totally see this being the same universe as the originals. And the thing that won a lot of people over, including me, was this joke from the trailer where Frank and his captain, who is also apparently the son of George Kennedy's character from the original, they're all kneeling in front of their father's portraits and on the wall of police fame, saying, "I miss you, Pop." And then we see this young black cop who's kneeling in front of O.J. Simpson's portrait, and he's just like, nah. And that won a lot of us over, made us think, okay, this film might have an edge. And after seeing it, I can safely say, yes, this movie does have an edge. It's not 100% pushing the envelope, but it has a fair amount, and it keeps everything even. It never goes into, like, obviously there is a little cringy humor, but it's the right type of cringe where you're like, oh wow. It's not like, ugh, like where you feel secondhand embarrassment. It comes together excellently. And some of the standout, edgy jokes include a bit where Frank goes to meet the villain, and the villain says, "As the Black Eyed Peas say, let's get retarded." And then Frank's like, "You can still say that?" The word retarded really seems to have made a comeback with films in the past few years, and I'm loving it. And there's also a bit where the villain has a drink with the main female character, played by Pamela Anderson, and I'll get to her soon. But they pours like champagne, and they have a toast, and just as she takes her first sip, he says, "Imported straight from Bill Cosby's personal stash." And then she's like, "Bleh." I'm like, whoa. And oh yeah, there's a very well done, clever bit where Frank is at the bar and he's talking to the bartender who apparently has a history with him. The guy says, "You shot my brother," and Neeson goes, "That could be thousands of people. You shot him in the back. Hundreds. He was unarmed. Dozens. He was white." And then he goes, "Ah, yes!" Those are the standout ones for me, and many things make this film gel. The well done, taking it literally, moments of humor, and the action. Like, the action, while funny, is very imaginative, it's extremely creative, and it's a world where you just gotta embrace the madness. And the cast of this film, they do pretty good jobs. Next to Liam Neeson, who really shines going into full comedy mode here, we also has the main female character, who's named Beth Davenport. She's the sister of this victim who he's investigating, is played by Pamela Anderson, who surprisingly has made a bit of a comeback in the past 2 years. She did that Last Showgirl movie, which I didn't see, but there were people that responded positively to her in it, and here, she was excellent. She was virtually on par with Priscilla Presley as the love interest in the original trilogy. She kept up with Liam Neeson pretty well. She was legit funny, and she actually gave a good performance. She's really come far from like Barbed Wire and Scary Movie 3. And the two of them have amazing chemistry. There's been, you know, how motherfuckers go. A lot of people being like, I hope they get together in real life. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, yeah, they work very well together. I don't know if they'll do any sequels, but I'd totally be up for it. I love these two together, and they play off each other amazingly, and I'd love to see more of them. And the other actors, not every single one gets the big spotlight, like Paul Walter Hauser as the new captain, the son of the original captain. He's a good partner, but he's not in it a lot. We have a chief who hates Frank taking the place of the mayor from the original, and this new chief is played by one of my favorite actors, CCH Pounder. I know her from many things like The Shield, Avatar, and she's great. She could have become a one-note character that got annoying pretty fast, but they gave her some pretty creative moments, and she was a good straight man to Liam Neeson in this. There's a great gag where she yells, I want him here now. She says it while she's in bed, and then 1 second later, he is in her fucking bedroom. She forces him to talk in whispers because her husband's sleeping right next to her. As for the villains, we have two villains. We have the main one, the tech businessman, played by Danny Houston. The guy's name is Richard Kane, and this is a pretty good villain. Best villain probably since Robert Goulet's character in the second Naked Gun. He's legit threatening at times, but then we see he's a bit of a pussy. And we have his main henchman, Gustafsson, played by Kevin Durand, who, he's fun. Like, he only has one really big scene where he gets to act, but it's a great scene, and it has a, while predictable, still very imaginative payoff, and yeah, I loved this movie a lot. I was nervous, but it really surprised me. I think it will please just about any fan of the Naked Gun franchise. And as always, for anyone who has already seen or just doesn't care, I love a section where I get into the more spoiler-heavy aspects of the film, so we'll be back in just a sec and we'll talk about some of my really favorite moments. Okay, time to get into the pros and cons. And this is gonna sound weird, but I really don't have that many cons with this film. Aside from the new captain not getting a ton of screen time, I still think they used him very well. There's a great joke near the end where he has to go undercover pretending to be a bartender and just to not deal with people hassling him, he gives the beer away for free. And there's this real funny bit where he starts blindly handing beer to like elementary school kids. And then when everything is resolved and things are calming down, we see him sitting in a circle, legs crossed, just having beer with little kids. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. The first thing that almost rubbed me the wrong way was the opening credits, which did not do what the original movies did with the point of view with the police car siren going through crazy areas, but they fixed it by the end. The end credits, they replay the original footage of the point of view cop car from the first film, and I get it, you want to do your own thing, but it's awesome that they paid tribute, because there are callbacks to the originals, but they are still making it their own original story. One part of the trailer that left me with a little dread, because while the trailers had a lot to make me optimistic, one part of the trailer that I was not looking forward to was a scene where Liam Neeson has diarrhea and he's constantly farting trying to get to a bathroom. Because sometimes I can laugh at a fart joke, but generally I feel like they're just not my thing. And here in the film, they do have it, and while it's not the funniest moment, it is handled a lot better than the trailer made it out to be. The trailer made it look like it would be its own scene, but here we see that they're rewatching body cam footage to bust a suspect, and it's footage from his body cam, and as they're trying to get to the part with the suspect, Neeson is constantly yelling, "You fast forward ahead!" So yeah, it was a lot better. These really aren't cons, they're stuff that started out as possible cons, but then kind of just came full circle later on, or they fixed themselves. The only real con I got from my screening was one of the people in the audience. Most of the people at the theater were old people, I'm guessing fans of the original, and there was this one guy who might have been my age, maybe a little younger, and he's like this fat guy, he looked very greasy, and he was the most obnoxious person in the theater. While everyone was simply laughing, he was speaking out loud at times. And there were a couple of moments where, speaking of farting, he just ripped ass several times during the movie. Like I was sitting and he's a few rows away, and then all of a sudden I hear and I'm like, dude! But aside from that, perfect film and my favorite moments, pros. There are so many amazing sequences in this film and stuff that, like, I believe this movie's PG-13, and there's some stuff here that I'm shocked they were able to get away with. Kind of like the original film from the 80s. For example, there's a scene where one of the bad guys is spying on Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. They close the curtains, so he uses infrared goggles, and it's a class. This is full-on Austin Powers. With the way their bodies are positioned, the stuff that they're doing looks a lot dirtier than it actually is. It looks like she's giving him a blowjob, jerking him off, when really she's like cleaning the kitchen and crap. And then Neeson's dog comes in, and the dog is like licking his fingers, but from the infrared it looks like he's getting a blowjob from the dog. And then he's like rubbing it on his knees while the dog's like licking Pamela Anderson's hand or something. And it looks like they're having a bestiality three-way. Like, this feels like the most worked on scene in the film, because one small move or wrong positioning, I could easily see this scene getting the film an R rating, but yeah, they handled it pretty well. And just like the other Naked Guns, there's a love montage sequence. We get a 5-minute sequence of Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson going on a romantic cabin getaway, and they're playing Jefferson Starship's "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now," which right away made me smile because great song. And they do all the typical stuff, getting naked in the hot tub, having a nice dinner, and then they break out a book of witchcraft and they perform a ritual bringing a snowman that they made to life. And yes, this totally feels in tune with the style of the Naked Gun movies. We get a paranormal snowman who at first is involved in their sex, and then they push him away, and the once friendly, horny snowman becomes vengeful and tries to kill Liam Neeson, and it's like, it turns into Jack Frost, the R-rated horror version of Jack Frost, and just when you think it's gonna kill Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson slices it up with a katana, and then it just goes back to nothing's gonna stop us now. And if my singing sounds bad, just wait till you hear Liam Neeson sing his love song for Pamela Anderson during the end credits. You'll be like, ooh. The only other big sequence that really stands out is near the end where Neeson is trying to defuse the device that's going to turn everyone into crazy monkeys. And the thing that it's in is a big pair of glowing New Year's Eve balls. Yeah, definitely from Seth MacFarlane. And during his attempt to defuse it, his pants get ripped off, and we get a very in-your-face view of what might be Liam Neeson's ass, maybe a body double, and he's like naked from the waist down. And I give Liam Neeson this: he wasn't afraid to let go of his dignity, if he has any, for this role. Like, that he knew what he had to do for the sake of comedy. And we also get some pretty cool cameos. There's a suspect in interrogation played by Busta Rhymes. Probably most random, but I like Busta Rhymes. And there's a scene where in the middle of talking, Liam Neeson is switched out for Dave Bautista. And then all of a sudden we hear a toilet flush, and Neeson comes back. He's like, "That's okay, Dave, I can take back over." And Dave's like, "Oh, thanks." And the most welcome surprise was where we get and I won't say how, but we get a surprise appearance by the Naked Gun movie's Lucky Charm, Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, they brought him back. And just like the others, he's only in it briefly, but it leaves a happy grin on your face to see him. And there's apparently a cameo from Priscilla Presley, Jane from the originals. It's a real blink and you miss it moment. Going back to the cons, if there's anything, I'm like, they should have given her a little more to do, because for a moment I'm like, it'd be pretty easy to not notice that was her. But nonetheless, so many hilarious, awesome moments. And the last thing I'll say, just because I have to mention it, there's a bit where Frank lends Beth his TiVo, and he's like, the thing that breaks his heart the most in the midst of so many tragic events in his life is the fact that she unintentionally erased his recordings of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, he talks about his dead wife, but this is what appears to be the thing he's the most broken up about. And we also find that he's, well, I don't know if he's a fan, but apparently he's very knowledgeable about Sex and the City characters. So, watching it just made me laugh, because I'm thinking, I think he'd get along very well with my cousin Allie. She likes those shows. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this review. This movie put me in a very good mood, and if you're a fan of the Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen, old school slapstick comedy, then I think you'll enjoy this. There's definitely a few raunchy moments, but that's what made the Naked Gun extra special, and we'll see if anything comes of this new version in the future, and I will see you again, hopefully soon.